Welcome to the virtual classroom at the St. Louis Kaplan-Feldman Holocaust Museum. Today, misinformation can sometimes spread faster than the truth. It's hard to know what's real and what's not. So join us as we dive into how to counter misinformation effectively. Let's begin. The first step is understanding. Misinformation is false information, but intention neutral. It is not designed to harm. It is merely false. Disinformation, on the other hand, is false and intentionally spread to deceive. During the plague known as the Black Death, many Jews were attacked because of false claims blaming them for the crisis. Similar sentiment emerged during the more recent COVID-19 pandemic, when disinformation spread online, once again blaming Jews for the spread of disease, maliciously and falsely. These examples can also be considered propaganda. Propaganda is biased information promoting a particular political cause or point of view. Propaganda is often designed to provoke strong emotions, positive or negative. Understanding these definitions helps us critically assess the information we encounter. None of these forms of false information began with the internet. They have been with us as long as humans have walked the earth. During the Holocaust, the Nazis were deft users of propaganda, spreading false and hateful information about Jews and other targeted groups, while elevating their preference for a racially pure, in their words, Aryan nation. Biases are internal prejudices for or against people, things, or groups, and they can cloud our judgment. Often, this makes us favor information that confirms what we already believe. For example, we are more likely to believe negative news about politicians we disagree with than positive news. This is called confirmation bias. Our brains also tend to believe something is true simply because we've heard it many times. But repetition doesn't make information true. For instance, we might believe a rumor about a friend just because we've heard it from multiple people. This is known as the illusory truth effect, where repeated information feels more believable, even if it's false. By recognizing these biases and critically assessing our perceptions, we can strive to approach information more objectively. Always question why a piece of information feels right, and consider the opposite viewpoint. Just because something feels right doesn't mean it's true. Online platforms, especially social media, often boost groupthink by creating echo chambers where our views go unchallenged. An echo chamber is a space, usually online, where we only see beliefs we already agree with, shutting out opposing ideas and limiting our perspective. In these online groups, discussions can sometimes lead to extreme viewpoints. When people with similar opinions talk only amongst themselves, they tend to become more extreme in their views. This is known as group polarization. To fight groupthink, make a habit of diversifying your media sources. Seek out different perspectives, especially those that challenge your own views. Always check the credibility of your sources. If a source has a history of inaccuracies, that's a red flag. Verify facts through multiple reputable outlets. Corroboration is key. Know the difference between news, ads, and opinion pieces. Reliable sources back up their claims with evidence, while unreliable sources often rely on sensationalism or unverified claims. Remember to pause and verify, especially when a news story is provoking strong emotions. Make it a habit to question and cross-check information. Look for varied sources to get a different side of the story. Embrace ideas that challenge your perspective, and try to understand the strongest version of opposing viewpoints, even when you disagree with them. Misinformation thrives in passive consumption, like when we're mindlessly scrolling through social media on our phones. But if we take the time to actively verify, understand, and challenge the information we see online, we're not only helping ourselves, we're contributing to a more informed society. Thank you for joining us for today's lesson in the virtual classroom at the St. Louis Kaplan-Feldman Holocaust Museum.